there. Thank
Hey.
y'all so much for joining us today.
Hello, hello.
We are so excited to have you guys here with us for Flower Friday.
Yes, we are.
For those of you who are new to our channel, I'm Amanda,
I'm Sherry.
and we are the mother-daughter designers at Grace Monroe Home, where we help you transform the ordinary home into an extraordinary home.
That is right.
We have a fun project for you today. So when you hop on, just make sure that you say hi, that you let us know where you're watching from, because you are going to love this one.
Yes.
So welcome.
Yes.
Thank y'all so much for joining us today.
Yes, we are going to make a Valentine's Day wreath.
Yep, and I know that we are a little bit, those of you who are watching live, we're on here a little bit early today.
Yeah.
Well, quite a bit early.
Quite a bit early, yes.
But we had a little bit of a conflict timing-wise because my little girls have their dance recital tonight.
Yes, all three of my granddaughters are in the dance recital. So
we didn't want to not have Flower Friday. We wanted to make sure that we showed up for you guys.
Yep.
So we're on here a little bit early.
that's right.
So y'all make sure that you say hi and let us know where you're watching from.
Yes.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining
Yes.
us. Welcome.
Yes, we are so happy that you all are here. And this is going to be such a fun wreath to make.
It is. So
I love making Valentine's
So we're
wreaths.
we're making a Valentine's Day wreath, and I know for those of you who are watching live, it seems a little bit early for Valentine's Day. We should be
Yeah.
making Christmas, it seems like. But we're going to have some fun today. We're going to
Yes,
change it
we
up a little.
are.
We've been making a lot of Christmas wreaths, so we want to do
Yes,
something
so we
just
said
a little bit
time
different
to do a
today.
Valentine's. That's right.
All right. Hey,
Yeah.
Brandy, thanks for joining us today.
Yes, and we're going to be using a 14-inch grapevine wreath for this, and we've already got our cute little Valentine. These are little plush type Valentines, that little
Yeah.
hearts that we've got.
So we are, like she said, we're using a 14-inch grapevine
Yeah.
to make this. Now we do have these plush, they're actually almost like little pillows
They're
that
so
we
cute.
have just used floral wire to wire onto our wreath base.
Yeah.
And I love those. Those are so
Aren't they cute? They are so cute. We got those at market when we were there and have been holding on to them. Just couldn't wait to use them.
I'll let you adjust that.
Yeah.
Hey, Retha, thanks for joining us. Hey,
There we
Cindy and Carol, welcome.
Yes.
Hey, Dora.
Hope y'all are all having a good morning.
Yes, it's Friday.
It's Friday.
Yay.
That's right. And
That's
today is
exciting.
actually my husband's last day of work until after Christmas. He is off for Christmas, so we're excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So y'all let us know what the weather is like where you're watching from. If you're at work, let us know that in the comments.
Yes, yes. And
We want to
who
know
all
what
is
you're doing at 10 o'clock in the morning.
in the morning.
Because
That's
we're not
right.
usually on here that early.
No, we're not. We are definitely not. Also, are y'all ready for Christmas? Have you got all your Christmas shopping done? And what all are you doing? We've still got cooking and baking, stuff like that to do. But
Yep.
other than that, I'm finished.
Yes.
Completely finished, finally, with my gift buying. So, yep. How about you?
I mostly have everything bought, yeah.
That's good, yep. Because it is getting closer.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with this fun
Yes.
Valentine's Day wreath. We'll show you what we're working with. Like we said, we've
Yeah.
got the 14-inch grapevine wreath base. We've already got our little cute pillows wired on, and
Yep.
we just used 26 gauge floral wire.
Right.
And wired them straight to the base. We have got some beautiful flowers.
Yes, all different colors. We've got red and pink because, as you see, our pillows have red and pink in them. And so we've got that. And then we've also got some greenery we're going to be using. So,
And I've got some pretty ribbons over
Yes.
here. We're going to add some black and white into our pink and red
Yeah.
theme. We've got some sequined ribbon.
yep,
I love
Amanda's
that.
favorite.
Y'all know I use that
Yep.
a lot. I've got some pretty heart ribbon.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got, of course, some pink and some red.
Yeah,
So
I
I've
got to tie all that in.
Yeah, I've got 7 different ribbons here.
And she is also using my favorite, which is the Harlequin. ribbon.
Yeah, I showed them that first.
Oh, did you? I didn't see
Yeah,
that. So,
I love
yes,
that.
that's my favorite.
We use that a lot, too. That's
Yes, we do.
That's one of my favorites. And I love just adding the pops of black and white.
Yes. Yes.
Hello, Betty. First time catching us live.
Hey,
welcome.
Betty.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning.
Yes, so 10 o'clock in the morning must be a good time for you then. Yeah.
So I'm going to actually go ahead and get started with my bow. So this is called a whimsical bow that I'm going to be making today. I'm going to move some of this out of the way.
Yeah, we're a little bit.
Let's
see.
So I have, like I said, I have 7 different ribbons. So this is going to be a nice full bow, and we're actually going to make a couple of those. I am going to start with some of the 2.5-inch ribbon that I've got. Now, we are using a Bow Dabber bow maker, and this is wired ribbon too. So I'm going to go ahead. What I've done, I've just put my wire into my bow maker. So I went ahead and cut about a 36-inch piece of wire. I folded it over, and this is just 26 gauge floral wire that I'm using. I folded it over and I just put it right down into my Bow Dabber. Now this is called a whimsical bow that I'm making. Now you could make this by hand, but it's much easier with all these ribbons to use a bow maker. So first I'm going to put in my pink that I'm using. So I cut my tails. I didn't mention that earlier, but I did already pre-cut my tails, and these are cut at 16 inches for my first bow. Actually, you know what? That's my second bow.
Got the wrong one.
Yep, got the wrong one. So my first bow is cut about 16 inches, and I went ahead and pre-cut the tails just so that we could save a little bit of time. So what you do, you just put your ribbon right down into the bow maker just like that, and then I'm going to make some loops. Now these loops are going to be about 6 inches. So I want to make sure that they're even. So I just pull them up just like that. If you have a measuring mat, that's great. You can use that. But for those of you who don't, you can just pull them up and just kind of measure them against each other just like that. So this particular bow is going to have 2 loops of each ribbon. So I'm going to cut that off because I'm done with that one for now. Put that to the side. And now I'm going to move on to my second ribbon. So I put my tail down.
Love, love, love that ribbon.
Yep. This always just adds a nice little pop of, I don't know, it's just fun.
And it goes so well with hot pink and those colors. It just works well with them.
I love using this ribbon all the time, but especially at Valentine's Day.
I do too.
I love it with the pink.
Yep.
Okay, so those are also 6-inch loops. So now I'm going to add my pretty pink heart ribbon. Like that. Just going to throw that right there on the floor. So all my loops for this 2.5 inch is going to be the same. They're going to be about 6 inches. Now I'm not measuring my loops, but if you wanted to or if you needed to, you definitely could. I'm just kind of eyeballing it.
I'm already liking that bow.
Jan, yes, this is a Valentine's Day wreath that we're going to be working on today. Now, I'm going to put in my pretty sequin. I love this ribbon.
Oh, that's your favorite.
It is one of my favorites.
And I do like it too. It adds just the right sparkle to it.
It does. It kind of just glams up things just a little bit.
Yep.
And I love a little...
That's why we bought a lot of it.
Yeah. I always love a little sparkle. A little extra sparkle in my life.
Yep, and it is actually good anytime. I mean, it's not it's good at Christmas, but it's good for any time.
I use it all year.
Yep, we use it all the time.
So now I am going to be using my red ribbon. Now this is a 2-inch ribbon. So I like to do my thicker ribbons first, and then as they get smaller, I add them into the bow. So this is 2 inches. It's a little bit smaller than the other, so we're going to use this one next. And I'm still doing these loops at about 6 inches. That's right, Angela. Nothing wrong with a little glam.
With a little glam. That's right.
And now I am going to go with my, actually I'm going to do my white next. And this is just a glitter 1.5 inch white ribbon. These loops I'm going to do just a little bit smaller. I'm going to do these about 5 inches.
Somebody said they love this bow maker, and it's a Bodabra, and it is amazing.
It's great, especially when you are doing bows with a lot of different ribbons.
Yes.
It's very handy because it just holds your ribbons.
It holds everything so well.
So now I'm going to use my last ribbon, and this is a 1.5 inch also. And this one I'm also going to do at about 5 inches for my loops. So I'm just putting that last one in.
And you see she's still holding on to
I'm
it.
always kind of, especially when I use a lot of ribbons, I always kind of hold on to it with one hand just to make sure that the ribbons don't all fall out.
Yes.
Okay, and because this ribbon is different on the front than it is on the back, you do have to twist. So when I get, I'll show you that again because I didn't show you on the last one, but you put that in. And now I'm putting the pretty side face down, okay? And I'm going to loop it over, just like that. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a 5 inch loop. I'm still holding on to it with one hand. And then I twist, just a half twist. And loop again, because I want to make sure that my pretty side with all the glitter is facing up. So you want to make sure that it's facing you. Okay. And then I'm just going to cut that off. And now we're going to take it out of the Bodabra. So I'm always keeping my thumb right there in the center of the bow, just like that. Then I loop this open and I pull my 2 ends through, just like that. And I kind of wiggle it back and forth to make sure that it's secure. Then I open up the wires and I pull it around to the back. And then I twist several good times. So you can either twist the wire itself or you can twist the actual bow. Either way, you just want to make sure that you have several good twists so that your ribbons and your pretty loops stay in there like you want them to. And then you're just going to fluff. Now some of these I may trim off just a little bit if they seem a little long to me, you know, some of these tails, but basically to fluff, you're just going to pull one loop one way and one loop another, just like that.
Very, very easy
Yeah.
once you get the hang of it.
Yeah.
Now, you do have to practice it, you know, to get the hang of it, but it is very easy.
Well, yeah, and you can't expect, you know,
it's
first time you do it.
not going to be quick the first time, but
be
eventually it will be very, way quicker than hand doing them.
Well, and really, for these type of bows, the main thing is it just holds your ribbon in there.
Exactly.
So that, you know, it doesn't go flying all over the place.
It makes a beautiful bow.
It makes a very pretty bow, and I love it.
I do too. We have used this thing a lot of years.
Oh gosh, I know. It's probably time for a new one.
Well, I've got
it's
another
about
one over
10
here,
years
but
old.
yeah, we've had them forever and ever.
I would say it was at least 10 years old.
Yes,
so
at least.
Definitely held up. And I'm just going to trim these up just a little bit because they're a little longer than I want, some of those tails.
Pretty, pretty.
Just like that.
I see several are saying they love their Bodabras.
Oh yes, I love my Bodabra.
That is a pretty, pretty bow. It's festive. It's just perfect for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, and Valentine's is fun. You want
It
things
is
to be
fun.
whimsical.
Exactly.
You know, you can use all kinds of different patterns. Be bold with your Valentine's Day wreaths.
Yes, that's a fun time to make them
Yes.
because
All
anything
right, there
you
you
can
go.
just about do anything.
And so I'm going to be making another bow, but while I do that, she's
I'm
going
going
to
to go ahead and start on
Yeah,
the
start on the
wreath. And
wreath.
this one is going to go right down here.
Angel said, I'm addicted to the Bodabra.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree with you. Angel.
Yep. I
Probably
tell you what,
addicted to mine,
I never
too.
want to. Now, occasionally I will do a hand-tied bow because I can do them, but I don't like it, I can tell you.
Well,
it's way easier.
I was just kind of, I just didn't use the bow dabber when I was at my house and I was making all the ribbons for my swag.
That's the
and my
only
tree.
time if I'm doing something, don't have it.
So I was just making tons by hand, and you know what? Actually, my hands kind of
They do.
sore. So I like my bow dabber.
I do too.
I got ribbons everywhere, and I know y'all are gonna be like, well, don't
We
throw
just
them
throw them on the floor, but that's
that's
the way we do it.
That's the way I roll.
Now I've got some tassel, I call it tassel fern, that I'm going to be using to green my wreath. So I'm just going to start here at the top and add this one.
I love that greenery.
I do too. It's one of my favorites. I use it a lot because I do love it. It is versatile, and I just love the look of it. So all I'm doing right now, and it came in long pieces like this, and I've just cut, I go up about 2 so that I've got 2 sections of the leaves, and I just cut them off right about there most of the time. Now sometimes like this one I'm going to put at the bottom, so I left a little more on this one, but that's, unless I'm doing one where I'm doing the whole thing real flowy, then I usually cut a couple of places like that.
You know, I want to mention something too, because I had somebody on YouTube say that I needed to specify this, so I'm going to. There is 2 different types of bow dabbers that you can get. I know there's at least 2 types, and you do want to make sure that you get the original bow dabber and not the mini. Because,
yes, you don't want the mini.
you don't want to get the mini. So for those of you who are going to order, because I know several of you here live had said, I'm going to go, you know, order one from Amazon or whatever. Make sure that you get the original bow dabber. And I don't have a box for you to look at, but just don't get the one that says mini.
Yeah. And it should say on it. So
and for my bow, I'm just making it the same way that I did the last one. This is another whimsical bow. I have to remember which order I put them in, though. I guess it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. No. It
doesn't matter if it's in the same order.
No, once it gets all mixed in.
Yeah.
It will be fine. And I know somebody asked last time when I'm putting the greenery around the outside, where I actually put it. And I actually go about halfway in the wreath, in the width of the wreath. I go about halfway when I'm going around the outside.
And for those of you who are new to our channel, we are live. Typically, we're live every Friday at 4:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. Today, we're on here a little bit early, which I'm glad, because we get to hang out with some of you who may not be able to see us live normally. But typically, we're on at 4:00 p.m. Central on our Facebook page.
That's right. But like she said, we've got some little ballerinas.
Yes, we have little ballerinas we have to go, or we get to go watch today.
Yes, we are excited about that. And they are excited too.
Yeah. Let's see, we do have a question. Let's see. Starry says, she said, I love my grapevine wreaths, but I need some advice on how to minimize scratching up the doors of my clients. I've used old rags tied in a triangle to lift it off of the door, and I've tried placemats, but do you have any suggestions?
We've never ever, we've been doing this since 2007, and we've shipped them all over the world. We've never put anything on the back. We just make sure that we cut off any stems or anything after we finish the wreath, we just go back, and anything that's, you know, sticking out or anything like that, we just kind of cut it off with our cutters, just so that everything is kind of flat. But even then, we don't go crazy about it. You know, we just cut the stems and just make sure that there's nothing really that's, you know, gonna scratch anything. But we've never had any issues. I don't think I've ever had anybody. And we've shipped thousands, and I don't think I've ever had anybody complain, have we?
No, and I think that the key is that you just want to make sure that you're cutting them very, very close to the grapevine.
But you do it after you make it.
Yeah, after
you're finished.
And that when you use your wire cutters, that you're using that flat end right there, and you're getting it as close as you can. Now, if you have, what I do, I always take my hand and rub the back.
Yeah. If
I feel anything that scratches me in any way, I make sure that I get those wire cutters and I really cut down deep. Now, if you want to cover it, and in the times that we have covered the back, we've always used felt.
Yeah.
So you can just take a piece of felt, you know, and just go around the back.
That's been very, I mean, I don't even think it's been
it's
over
not
2 or 3
necessary
times when somebody asked.
Yeah, and it's not necessary if you cut it really close on the back. But you want to do that whether you're making it for yourself or for a customer, because you don't want it to scratch your door,
so you just, yeah, exactly. I want this one to stand up a little more, so I'm just going to change that out. There we go. Well, it's still, but I think it'll be all right. Okay, so now I've got some beautiful dahlias that I am going to put in here that will bring out the hot pink on my little pillows.
I love those dahlias.
I do
I love the
too.
color of those.
I do too. They are gorgeous.
And actually, that's one of those flowers that we use year round.
Yes, we do.
I love dahlias.
Mm-hmm. They are gorgeous.
And if you're a wreath maker or a crafter, let us know in the comments what you're working on right now.
Yeah, I always like to hear what people are working on.
I know some of you are probably still working on Christmas, making Christmas stuff.
Yep.
We've wrapped up most of our Christmas at this point. We're kind of moving on to some Valentine's Day and some Mardi Gras,
which is a lot of fun. These are just, which I love all of the holidays, but I kind of really love Valentine's Day and Mardi Gras. Love both.
I feel like both of those holidays you can kind of get away with just going a little crazy and stepping outside of the box and just having fun.
Love these roses. Yep, and the way that holidays go by so quickly, the older you get. So it's like you turn around and you're working on the next holiday.
Yeah, I feel like I was telling my girls this morning, it's only a week and a half until Christmas. I feel like Christmas should be farther away. Like, I feel like it's just come so quick this year.
It does. And yet when you were a kid,
it
seemed like it would take forever for it to get here. Love roses too, and you got to have roses for Valentine's.
Yeah, I don't want to do a Valentine's Day wreath without roses.
No, got to have some beautiful roses in there.
Maria, this grapevine wreath is 14 inches. You could make it on an 18 though.
Yes, you certainly could.
And I wish I knew where we got the the heart pillows from, but it was while we were at market.
Yes, it was just a little shop, and I do not remember the name of it. We were trying to think of that earlier, and I can't think of the name of it.
They're so cute.
Mm-hmm, they really are. Want to cooperate.
Are you talking to yourself
I
again?
am. You know I talk to myself.
I think we had this conversation last week.
Yep. I do that
I think several
all
of you
the
said
time.
you talk to yourself too when you're making crafts.
I am terrible about that. Oops, there's glue everywhere.
Let's see. Sandy said, I'm working on a memory lantern for my best friend that lost her husband this year. Oh, Sandy, that's so nice of you.
Yes, that is.
They will love that, I'm sure.
I'm sure that's going to mean a lot to her. I know the holidays are bad for people like that have lost loved ones. It's just so sad. Okay, now I've got some hydrangeas I'm going to be adding. And these are huge. Hey, Amanda, see if you can get that in over there. I can't see what I'm doing.
Okay.
You may have to cut the stem a little more.
Is that out enough where you want it?
Push it in just a little more. If you can, it needs to go back some.
Okay. Right there?
Let me turn it this way so I can see. Yeah, that'll work. That will work.
You can, for those of you asking, you can get this Bodabra on Amazon. You can get it at Michael's, Hobby Lobby. Pretty much any craft store is going to carry it. And it is called a Bodabra bow maker.
Yes. I'll use some of my red hydrangeas to bring more of my red in.
Yeah, I love that it's using the red and the
I do too.
hot pink.
I do too.
I like that color combo for Valentine's Day.
Yep. Go in where I want it to. There we go. There we go. Now I'm going to add some more of my eucalyptus that I've got around. Okay, let me push it this way so I can see where I need to add what. Pull this one out a little more. Okay, now I'm going to add some of my eucalyptus that I've got. Except I think Hobby Lobby calls this beechwood.
Yeah, they changed the name
we call
of it.
Yeah, we call it eucalyptus, and they call it something else.
They just changed the name of it.
Yeah, just recently. Because for years and years it has been eucalyptus. And we love it.
Yeah, I like to use that a lot. Let's see. Millie asked, which kind of wreath is harder to make?
Meaning
I guess you're saying
between
probably difficulty between like
maybe grapevine or mesh,
yeah,
or
I'm guessing.
well,
You'll have to specify that in Millie.
yeah,
in the comments.
specify that so that we can answer it right. If you are talking about between grapevine and mesh, I think grapevine is harder, but it doesn't have to be. Let me just put it that way. It doesn't have to be if you just learn the techniques, and then it's not harder, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it too is kind of what you're used to.
Right.
And because if you're used to making mesh and then you go to make a grapevine wreath, it's going to be a little challenging because you're going to have to retrain your brain because you're used to doing something else, you know. But and then it's the same way if you're used to making grapevine wreaths and you go to make a mesh wreath, you know, it's going to throw you off a little bit too. So I think it's really kind of what you're used to, and you know, any skill like that though, you know, you can learn.
Yeah, you can learn it. There's no doubt about it. And I'm partial to grapevine because that's what I've always done, and I love it. I mean, I make mesh wreaths too, but I prefer grapevine, and but that's just my thing. I love them all. I think they're all works of art.
Let's see. Sandra says, I have a client that wanted a Minecraft wreath, and that was very challenging.
Ooh, yeah. I bet.
That would be challenging, I'm sure.
Yes, I bet. Right now, all I'm doing is just kind of filling in some places with my eucalyptus. And I know people always ask us about leaving the stems long, and we do leave them long, and like we were talking about earlier, we cut them off from the back just so that we can give more dimension and all to the wreaths. And it allows you to move them around and put them where you know, where you want them to go. So, uh-oh, that one just came off. Uh-oh, I'm gonna have to take that out. Well, maybe I can just glue it. Just gonna put a little bit of glue on that to hold it. There we go. Now one more little bud I want to put up here.
And y'all let us know if you have any questions in the comments, because we would be happy to answer your questions for you.
That's what we are here for. These. I just love these, so I'm going to put one more right in here. Am I talking to myself again?
I don't know. Are you talking to us or are you talking to
I
yourself?
think
You
I'm
answer
talking.
that.
Yeah, I think I'm talking more to myself again. You know how I do.
You may be talking to yourself, but I'll just respond.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Now, one of my little tassel ferns.
She didn't use the other bow, so I guess she's not going to.
Oh,
but
I
that's
forgot
okay.
it.
It's
I
kind of
forgot
big now,
it.
I think. I think it's too big for that space.
Yeah, it may be, but let me see.
That's
I
okay,
really
because I was
wanted
thinking,
it.
well, we could make like a lantern swag to
Yes,
match.
yes, we could, but
I think
I
it's
wonder,
too big.
is it too big?
think
Yeah, it is. Doggone it.
She forgot about
I
it.
forgot it. You gotta holler at me.
That's okay.
Oh,
I know,
I
Carol.
get in the zone and I completely lose what I'm doing.
Carol said it's hard for those of you who are watching live and watching this at Christmas time. I know we have people that watch later, but it is hard to think of doing Valentines right now.
Mm-hmm.
But we do if you are,
Yeah.
if you are going to sell your items.
You have to do them early.
You do have to do them early. Yeah.
Because I tell you, people will start, if you're selling, people will start right at Christmas thinking about what they want on their door immediately after Christmas. So you do have to be prepared for that.
Yep, it's like done with one, on to the
Yeah,
next.
and they want to take down the Christmas and put up the next one.
Yep.
Put one more. There it is. Right here. Put that down, yeah, in a better place here. These are a little hard to work with. They're gorgeous, but they are a little hard to work with just because they've got a thick stem. So you just have to keep rearranging it until you get it where you want it.
But they're so pretty that
They
it's worth
are.
it.
It is worth it. It is definitely
it's worth the
worth
extra
it
work.
because they are gorgeous. But you do have to work for it. I think I did. There we go.
Yeah, and I know some of you were mentioning about cutting the stems off the back and stuff. The wire cutters do matter.
Yes.
So if
yes.
if you are a wreath maker, or if you plan on making a lot of wreaths, you definitely need to invest in a good pair of wire cutters because it will make a difference for sure. It'll make things so much easier for you. These that I use are Stanley. They're my favorite. I love these. Irwin also makes really good ones. But, I know we've got a couple over there of the just floral wire cutters.
And they are awful.
Well, for what we do, when you're making these kind of wreaths,
they're great if you're using,
you definitely want to invest in some of the heavy-duty tool like wire cutters.
Yes, get them in the tool department because that's going to make all the difference.
Yeah.
It truly is. Let's see, one more little place. And then I will turn it around so y'all can
Debbie,
see
yes,
it.
winter wreaths will definitely sell after Christmas. We've always made tons of winter wreaths. So definitely, because a lot of people want to transition, and a lot of people don't decorate necessarily for Valentine's Day, or so they transition from Christmas, just winter wreath until spring. So definitely, if you're selling wreaths, I highly recommend doing just winter wreaths that aren't specific to a holiday.
Yes, and you'll see I did not put anything on this side or right here on purpose, because I wanted your eye to be drawn into the pillow. So, I don't want to cover them up because there is a lot going on. So you have to think about that when you're doing something too, that you don't want to cover them up. So, but let's see if I can get it where you can see it. If I got it down enough, you think?
I think so. We need to go ahead. We need to cut the backs.
We got to cut the backs off. So
this is what I'll show you what it looks like.
Yes, that's what it's going to look like.
That's what the back looks like. And of course, you want to try to get those cut, like I mentioned earlier. Whether you're making this to sell or for yourself, you don't want it to scratch the paint on your door.
And make sure when you're using your wire cutters, make sure that the flat end goes up against the wreath, and that's going to help you to get there and get them a lot closer. And we just cut them off so that they're even with the grapevine. And it takes you a few minutes to do this, but it is well worth it to do it.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, I take my hand and I just rub it along there.
Yes, and that's how we do to see if we feel anything.
If I can feel any stems, then we want to try to get it even closer and even deeper in there. So I'm going to put it just inside the grapevine just a little bit.
And just to make sure to get it, just like that. But that's how you do it.
Oh, you put it how it is.
Yeah, that was, well, I think you had it. You had it. Wait a minute. Get it right. There we go.
Oh, yeah. He said, turned out so. Let's see. Turned out to be so beautiful. I'm having a hard time reading today.
Oh, yeah.
Can't see the comments.
Well, thank you. I've still got to fluff my bow a little bit and all.
Come over here.
But there we go. And it is a lively, fun Valentine's Day wreath. And I wished I had remembered to use the other bow, but I didn't. But if I was going
now
to,
we can make a matching.
Yes, we can make something matching to go
swag
with it.
or lantern wreath to go with it.
That's exactly right.
We can find a use for that.
Definitely, definitely.
All right, guys. Well, we thank you so much for watching. Y'all be sure that if you're watching us on Facebook, we are live on Fridays for Flower Friday at 4 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Now, I will say, those of you who are watching live, next week on December 20th, we will not be having Flower Friday.
We're taking off.
So we're taking off for Christmas, but we will be back the Friday after Christmas.
That's right. That's right.
And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, those of you who are watching on YouTube. So click subscribe and then click the little bell so you get notified when we do release new videos, because we have some fun videos in the next few months that you are not going to want to miss.
No, you're not. And also make sure to check out our blog, because we have got a lot of things on our blog that are very helpful for Christmas and for all the other holidays, as well as just every day. So make sure to check that out at www.gracemonroehome.com.
That's right. And so I hope that y'all have a wonderful Christmas holiday.
Yes, yes. Merry Christmas.
You just have a happy and wonderful day, because, like I said, we won't be seeing you again until after Christmas. So I hope you have a very Merry Christmas.
Yes, we do.
Thank y'all so much for joining us, and we will see you very soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.